Hi, friends. In our time together today, I'm sharing a little bit more of our travel log from our time in Ireland. It is just so beautiful. And today, I want to share about our time on the Gobbins Walk. So, Cindy and I were in Belfast with our favorite tour guide, our friend Jim. And we went from there up through Carrickfergus and up the Antrim coast. And I'll stick pictures here and minimize myself. So the Antrim coast runs from a little north and west of Belfast, and it goes up this gorgeous coastline. The coastline curves around and goes down to Derry. Giant's Causeways on there, tons of other beauty. To be honest, if you drove the coastal road from Belfast to Derry and you just drove casually and you just didn't stop, you could drive the entire thing in probably about 3.5 relaxed hours. My recommendation is that you drive that in at least 2 days. Stay somewhere beautiful. Take your time. You're going to want to stop every 5 minutes and climb on the rocks and look at the ocean and look at the sheep and just see how beautiful it is, and stop and visit ruins and just stop and stare. So take your time if you're in Ireland and you're going up the Antrim coast. So the Gobbins Walk is just, and I'll show it on the map now. The Gobbins Walk is just at the bottom, the southerly east end of the Antrim coast, and it's amazing. About 100 years ago, somebody made this old walkway down on the cliff face right above the water. Now, the walkway's not 100 years old, except there are some stairs carved into the rocks, and that's probably still 100 years old. But new walkways, new railing, it is just stunningly beautiful. So I want to share some pictures from the walk, and I'll talk about it a bit as we go, because if you're in this area of Ireland, you're going to want to take the 2.5-3 hours that it takes to do the Gobbins Walk. It is so well worth it, my friends. Now, a couple of things before I jump into all the pictures. You need to book your tour of the Gobbins Walk. You can't do this by yourself. You have to have a tour guide. You need to book your tour well in advance of your trip, because they have time slots, and the tours are small groups, and the time slot fills very quickly. You also need to arrive at the visitor center, because they're going to bus you from the visitor center to the start of the walk. And you need to arrive at the Gobbins Walk Visitor Center at least 15 minutes before your allotted time, and wear very supportive shoes that won't slip in the wet, and they'll check out your shoes, so be ready for that. Cindy and I wore raincoats because even if it's a beautiful day, you're probably going to get a little wet. It was rainy the day we were there. So anyway, your small group will leave on a small bus from the visitor center, a very short drive to a place on the road where they let you and your guide off. You then walk down a fairly steep path that takes you down to the beginning of the Gobbins Walk. And here's where my pictures are really going to start. So here's the entrance to the Gobbins Walk. It's just this little carved entryway in the rock, and it's fenced off so that you can't get there without your guide unlocking the gate. And that's really for safety purposes. And you have to wear hard hats. And like I said, good walking shoes. And I recommend a raincoat. And if it's a day where you're not going to get wet, then you could carry your raincoat. But have it with you just in case. The path is not wide, and I don't like heights, and I was never uncomfortable on the walk. So you're walking along pretty much single file. It is a very, very casual walk. I used my the app on my watch to map the walk, and it kept thinking that I had finished my walk because we were going so slowly and pausing so often. Yeah, and it's worth every minute of doing that. Amazing views. You're going up and down, never too steep. You're staying on the path. Great. Either handrails or chains for the handrail. Again, I never felt unsafe. And I don't like those kinds of situations. They did that good a job. Oh, and yes, in this picture, that is rain coming in the background. We love just standing and looking out at the water. And depending upon the time of year you're there, you might see different creatures in the water. You might see birds and their nests clinging to the cliff face. So beautiful. Our guide never hurried us along the walk. Shared fascinating information about the history of the walk, the tides, the birds, the wildlife, the plants. It was great. Like I said, the path was very, very secure. But as secure as the path was, the path never obscured our view. So that was also awesome. The textures of the rock, the color of the water, my pictures couldn't capture it. We would just stand and stare at the color of the water and the green of whatever was growing in the dirt that slid down the rock face or in crevices on the rock. It was beautiful. Again, if you are going to Ireland, and if you're in the north, and if you're going to tour the Antrim coast, the Gobbins Walk is amazing. I'm going to put a link in the notes to this video so that you could access their website. You could look it up on YouTube and find a lot of people who have actually recorded days when the waves weren't as polite as they were when we were there. There were a number of people more advanced in years than Cindy and I, so it's not... You should be accustomed to walking and climbing up and down, but you would, I think, virtually any skill level could do the walk. Remember, please, purchase your tickets ahead of time. Don't arrive late, or you won't get to go. So that's why I say arrive at least 15 minutes early for your Gobbins Walk experience. Plan on it taking 2.5 to 3 hours. Well worth it. And then go grab a cup of tea and a pastry after. My friends, I hope you enjoyed today's little travel log. Until next time, this is Scott Shade. Happy whistling, my friends.